In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to find and identify your bottlenecks, constraints, and weak links in your coaching business, how to eliminate them, and scale like crazy. So let's get into it. If you don't already know me, my name's Jeremy Pogue. I help people that have coaching and consulting businesses, or people that want to start them, scale up, and hit 7 figures and beyond. So that said, let's get straight into it. Thing one, you need to really expand your perspective of your business. So I've got a lot of stuff prepared here for you guys today. And it's really important to start with the right frame of mind going into this. So you need to view your business as an ecosystem, as a collective sum of its individual components, right? So within your business, there's multiple avenues. There's a whole bunch of different components, right? There's multiple individual components that make up your business, right? So these can be things like, for example, like sales. It could be marketing. It could be your offer. Could be your delivery / client results, right? And there's a whole lot more that goes into it, right? It could be like your team. It could be you. So there's a lot of different components here. And just to give you guys a few examples, like your business is an ecosystem, and these are all living within that ecosystem. They all make up that ecosystem. And an ecosystem here is a biological community of interacting organisms and their physical environment, or a complex network or interconnected system. But the main things that I want you guys to understand is interconnected system and interacting organisms, right? Each one of these is like, let's call it an interacting organism. It interacts with the next thing, right? If you have a bad offer, then it doesn't matter how good you are at marketing and sales. If your offer sucks, then nobody's going to buy it, right? If it's something that they don't want, nobody's going to buy it. If you suck at sales, then it's going to be really hard to make a lot of sales, so that way you can actually work with clients, get them results, and improve your delivery. And if you don't get many clients and many results, then it's going to be hard to attract a lot of people, because like results speak for themselves. So your marketing is probably going to suck too. Right, and if you are not, if you don't have like discipline, and you don't see the world the same way as like your future self should, who runs a successful business, you're gonna be swimming upstream. It's gonna be really dang hard to get some traction, and then you probably won't do a lot of marketing stuff or work on your offer or client results and stuff like that, right? So it's really important to view them all as individual components. And like, let's take the example of like the human body, right? Think of each one of these as one of those components that we listed up here, right? Brain, let's say that's like your offer, right? If you don't have a brain, you can't live. The rest of the body shuts down, right? If your offer sucks, then the rest of your business will probably suck too. If you don't have a heart, right? Somebody just cut you open, took your heart out, the rest of your body shuts down, right? And you die. Well, if you don't have a marketing channel that books you sales calls every single day, which is kind of the lifeblood of your business is going to die, right? If you don't have lungs, let's call it sales, you can't breathe, then like your blood doesn't get oxygenated and you die, right? Same kind of thing. So if there's a weak link in any of these components, or if any of these components are a weak link, then the whole system, the whole body suffers and dies. And it's the exact same with our business, right? And why should we view our business as an ecosystem? Because of the weakest link hypothesis. Essentially, the weakest link hypothesis implies that the strength of a structure depends on the most important defect or flaw in the material under the application of a specific load, right? So it comes from like the engineering background, but it's the exact same. It's applicable to business, right? And you've all heard the saying of like, it's only like the team's only as strong as its weakest link or its worst player, right? So if you have somebody who's really just dragging everybody down, then like it's gonna be hard for the team to be really successful, right? And in English, this means that your business is only as strong as its weakest link, right? So if you're not booking any sales calls, well, it doesn't matter how good you are or your sales guys are at sales. If you're not booking any calls, then they have nobody to sell to, right? So you need to fix that weak link. And it's basically the same thing that I've heard Alex Hormozi talk about, which is like the theory of constraints. that kind of states that your business will only grow to the extent of its most limiting constraints, right? So if you don't have, like, let's just say like sales calls, if you don't have any sales calls, you have very few, maybe you're only booking a few a week or a couple a day or something like that, then like it's gonna be really hard to scale your business and to grow, because that's your main constraint, right? That's your most limiting constraint. However, if you like got help to figure that out, which is what we help literally probably most of our clients with at this point, besides CB, packet their calendars, then that's how you're going to start getting a lot of traction pretty quickly, right? If nothing else changes. And here's kind of a graphic to visualize it. First, you have to identify the constraint, which I'm going to show you exactly how to do in the next section here in a minute. Then you need to exploit it and pretty much just fix it, right? Identify it, isolate it, fix it, and then repeat. Find the next constraint. So let's dive in and identify some of the most common weakest links, constraints, and bottlenecks, and how to fix them. So identifying and removing the bottlenecks, thing number 2. It's also really important to note, especially in this section, when you're looking at your business, to use data to make your decisions, not emotions, right? So if you get asked a question, or if you ask yourself a question, where's my bottleneck? Oh, I feel like it's this. Oh, I feel like it might be this. No. You're going to fail, and your business is going to suck. What you need to do is you need to use data. Okay, what's your closing rate? If it's less than 30%, then you've got a sales problem. If you're not booking at least 2 to 3 sales calls every single day consistently, then you've got a call, like a marketing problem, right? If your offer sucks, then like that's reflected in your marketing and your sales numbers as well, right? Remove your emotions from the equation, face the music, and watch your business take off. So most people are afraid to look at the numbers because you're probably scared of what they're going to tell you, right? You're probably scared of what the numbers are actually going to say, and it makes you feel uncomfortable and maybe ashamed, right? But that's totally okay, because you need to confront that. You need to face the music, so that way you can actually confront it and fix it. So let's go into some most common bottlenecks that I see. So mindset, right? Most of the time with businesses, like especially with a lot of people that I talk to on calls all the time, they just have a mindset problem, right? They've gone through courses, they know what to do, but they're just not doing it. Maybe they have limiting beliefs. Maybe they need accountability, right? Maybe they're just too emotional and they ride the waves, the ups and downs of like the big swings, the peaks and valleys. Maybe their standards are too low. They don't have enough discipline. Maybe they feel like an imposter. That holds a lot of people back from starting. Held me back a long time too. Maybe they just kind of lack clarity. They don't really know exactly what the next step is, or they're overthinking it and thinking way too far in advance, trying to solve problems that don't exist yet. Maybe they just don't really know what they want. A lack of a clear vision. So a lot of things that have helped me with this, now that we've identified this bottleneck, let's fix it. So reading a lot of books have been really helpful for me. Books, I've taken a lot of courses on this stuff, invested in mentors and coaches to give me an outside perspective and call me out on my beliefs, like my fitness coach. He's incredible at calling me out on my bullshit and holding me accountable and making sure that I actually maintain my standards and maintain discipline, right? And I don't get emotional. So, oh, I have to get a workout today. I have to get up at 4:30 this morning. Okay, well, done. I don't have a choice. It's not, oh, I woke up this morning, I was feeling tired, which I did. I did not want to go to the gym. But I knew that didn't matter. Just put your emotions aside and figure out what you want, what you're willing to do to make it happen. Meditation and journaling, really just getting a good deep understanding of like yourself and how you operate and kind of what you think and kind of what your common thought patterns are. Just kind of getting them out on paper really helps. Working out, sharpening up your physical side of things really helps develop that internal fortitude as well. So those are a few things that work really well for me. Some great books like mental toughness, discipline, limiting beliefs, imposter syndrome, like psycho-cybernetics is a great one, but Maxwell Maltz. Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. Compound Effect, I think that's by Darren Hardy. Slight Edge by Jeff something. Those are all incredible books, and they just kind of help you develop that perspective that you need. Let's say your offer. So here's some common things that I see a lot of the time too that people struggle with their offer. They have a commoditized offer. They're doing the same thing that millions of other people out there are doing, right? Oh, I'm starting an e-com agency. Oh, good Lord. There's a million people out there doing the same thing, right? So naturally, if you're doing that and you're solving a problem that thousands of other people have already solved, going after people that get reached out to like 10 to 20 times a day, well, naturally you're going to be swimming upstream, right? Or maybe you run like an agency and you do lead gen, like one of our clients here, Joey, doing lead gen, and that specific niche is nothing crazy, right? It's nothing fancy. It's been around for a long time. There's a lot of people that do it. It's a pretty commoditized industry. And his offer was commoditized as well, right? Just a flat monthly retainer, right? Pay us this much for a service fee, and then pay us this much, or then pay like Facebook this much for ads, right? And the clients have heard that time and time again. And we help them scale to about like 20, 30,000 a month in the first like 30 to 60 days after they launch this new business. But then after that, what got them to 100,000 a month was switching up their offer and kind of the back end and what that looked like, right? So instead of like the retainer and stuff like that, then they kind of transition over to the pay per lead model. And that was the key that really, the trigger that helped them really grow, because it took a lot of risk away from the client, and it made it a much easier yes to say yes to, if that makes sense. Or maybe I see a lot of people that have offers or businesses that don't really solve a painful problem, right? It's just like, oh, here's kind of what I enjoy. This is kind of what I want to do. But nobody in the market said this is painful enough. Like, people just don't do their research, right? Do research, figure out what the market actually wants, what they're willing to pay for, and if it's even an audience that has the money to pay for that problem, right? It's a lot easier to sell to people that have money than people that don't. Maybe it's positioning, like with my agency. So doing lead gen for mortgage brokers, right? Facebook ads for mortgage brokers. That's how I was positioning myself. I said, hey, let me run your Facebook ads. And it wasn't until I hired a coach who told me, dude, nobody wants Facebook ads. Nobody cares. They just want to close more deals, earn more commission, make more money. If you can position yourself as that guy that helps mortgage brokers grow their business, make more commission, and like make more money, then that's when people are going to actually want to do business with you. They don't really care how you do it. If you do Facebook ads, Google ads, or you knock on doors handing out flyers, right? Nobody cares. They don't care what you do, only what you can do for them. So once I repositioned myself as that, then that's when it was like a month in, I had like my first $9,000 week and just scaled right up. Scaled it crazy. Or maybe your client results are your bottleneck, right? Maybe your client results suck. Well, sometimes you gotta take a step back in order to take a bunch forward, right? This is like the most important thing. So if your client results suck, then like people are gonna tell everybody else that you suck at what you do. Nobody's gonna buy. And in the long term, your reputation is gonna be extremely damaged. It's gonna be really hard to do anything. Maybe marketing's your bottleneck, right? Here we go. Data. How many calls are you booking? That'll tell you right there, right? If you're booking less than like 3 to 5 calls a day, 2 to 3 calls a day even, if you're not doing that consistently on a day-to-day basis, and you're trying to get to like 20, 30K a month, then like, yeah, book more calls. That's your problem right there. But anyways, for example, like how I did this was like my transition. I was sending cold messages. I was sending cold DMs, cold emails, cold calling, cold looms. I did everything under the sun that was icy cold. And I was wondering why I wasn't booking any calls. It wasn't until I actually built like a platform for myself in that space and started warming up and nurturing an audience that I started booking calls. And the calls were way better because they came into my frame. they already saw me as an expert and as an authority. So it made it so much easier. It was awesome. Or sales, right? This is kind of like the last bottleneck too. What's your closing rate? If it's less than 30%, then you probably suck at sales. Obviously, it depends on what you're selling. If you're selling something for like $1,000 or $2,000, like, yeah, your closing rate should be like 60, 70%. If you're selling something for like 20,000, well, maybe it'll be a little bit lower, right? So typically around like the $5,000 price range, you should be closing at least 30%. And if you're not, then there's your bottleneck, and just take more reps, get more practice, and do a lot more training. Hire a sales coach, like somebody to identify your blind spots and call you out on what you're doing wrong. Because if you knew what you were doing wrong, then you wouldn't be doing it, right? So that's where like reps and coaching are what helped me get extremely good at sales and really just see my sales abilities, my closing rate like skyrocket. So if you're actually interested in getting help with any of this is what we help our clients with inside of Consulting Blueprint, and identifying your bottlenecks and then actually helping you, like rolling up your sleeves, getting your hands dirty with you, and actually helping you fix these and scale things up. If you want that, booking a call down below. There should be a link in the description directly to my calendar, and let's set up a call. I don't bite. And let's just see if we're a good fit, see what kind of bottlenecks that you have right now, and see if we can help you fix that. So if you thought this was helpful, drop a like, hit subscribe. Got many more bangers on the way. But aside from that, hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to follow the journey a little bit closer, go follow me over on Instagram, Jeremy_Pogue, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.